A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a surprising turn of events, the United States has aligned itself with Russia, North Korea, and Belarus by refusing to hold President Vladimir Putin accountable for the ongoing war in Ukraine. This shift comes as the world marks the third anniversary of Russia's invasion of its neighbor. On this significant occasion, Ukraine presented a resolution to the United Nations General Assembly demanding an immediate withdrawal of Russian forces and accountability for war crimes. The motion garnered overwhelming support, passing with 93 votes in favor, with all EU countries, except Hungary, backing the resolution. However, 18 countries, including the US and Russia, voted against it, while 64, including China, abstained from voting altogether. Following this vote, the US introduced a competing resolution that called for an end to the conflict while notably refraining from labeling Russia as the aggressor. The US was ultimately forced to abstain after European nations amended the draft to include strong language condemning Russia and reaffirming support for Ukraine's sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity. This amended resolution also passed, receiving 93 votes in favor, with 73 abstentions and 8 votes against. Ukraine's Deputy Foreign Minister, Anni, passionately addressed the assembly, stating, "This war has never been about Ukraine only. It is about a fundamental right of any country to exist, to choose its own path and to live free from aggression." The situation has been further complicated by recent comments from former President Donald Trump, who launched a personal attack on Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, labeling him a dictator, and making unfounded claims that Ukraine instigated the war. Trump warned Zelensky to negotiate an end to the conflict quickly or risk losing his nation. In a rebuttal, Zelensky accused Trump of operating within a Russian-made disinformation space. Despite later softening his stance and acknowledging that Russia attacked, Trump continued to suggest that Zelensky should step down. Canadian Ambassador to the UN, Bob Rae, emphasized the need for a peace based on justice and adherence to the UN Charter, questioning the nature of the peace that could be achieved. Meanwhile, the UN Security Council is expected to vote on the US text later today. For a resolution to pass in the Council, it requires at least 9 votes in favor without any vetoes from the 5 permanent members, the US, Russia, China, Britain, or France. European members are anticipated to propose similar amendments to the US text that were presented in the General Assembly. A State Department official indicated that the US is prepared to veto any proposed amendments. In a separate development, Trump and French President Emmanuel Macron discussed the potential for European peacekeepers to be deployed in Ukraine as part of a deal to end the war. During a joint press conference, Macron stated that Europe is ready to send peacekeepers to Ukraine following a ceasefire agreement. Trump expressed optimism about Putin's acceptance of European troops in Ukraine, claiming he had already broached the topic with the Russian leader. He stated, "If we do this deal, he's not looking for world war." Trump claimed the war could end within weeks if we're smart, warning that failure to act could lead to a third world war. Macron underscored the importance of not appearing weak in negotiations with Putin, stressing that how Trump handles this situation could have significant implications for U.S. relations with China. He advised, "You can't be weak in the face of President Putin. It's not you. It's not your trademark. It's not in your interest." UK Labour leader Sir Keir Starmer has previously expressed willingness to deploy British troops as part of security guarantees to resolve the conflict. Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has also reiterated calls for a US backstop to any peace agreement ahead of his upcoming trip to Washington. The international community has reacted with dismay to the US's recent stance, with political figures condemning the administration for siding with autocratic regimes at the UN. Former Deputy Prime Minister Lord Heseltine voiced his disbelief at the US's alignment with China, Russia, and North Korea, stating, "We have relied on American support which enabled us to defeat the fascists in the 1940s. Former Tory leader Sir Ian Duncan Smith lamented the US's position, highlighting the historical significance of its leadership in the free world. In contrast, Tory leader Kemi Badenoch attempted to strike a more conciliatory tone, stating that while she disagreed with Trump's comments on Zelensky, the U.S. is acting in its national interests. Ultimately, the U.S. abstained from the resolution as it failed to isolate Russia as the aggressor. The UN Security Council later approved the original U.S.-sponsored resolution with a vote of 10-0, with 5 countries abstaining. As the geopolitical landscape continues to evolve, the implications of these developments on international relations remain to be seen. The world watches closely as the situation unfolds, with hopes for a peaceful resolution to the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.